As we all know, Daniel Ricciardo is a great Formula 1 driver, and with a bit more luck and perseverance, one that could have potentially fought for championships. But many fans are left disappointed in the 8-time Grand Prix winner nowadays. Fans could argue that Australian driver Daniel Ricciardo's F1 career has been a downward spiraling ride ever since Red Bull Racing. There's no denying that the last 2 years haven't been easy for Ricciardo, whose plans to rejuvenate his career with McLaren Racing has now seen him replaced only 2 seasons later. And while Piastri looks set to take his McLaren seat, there are other drivers waiting to take the remaining seats on the grid. And this is where things get tough for Ricciardo. So where does Mick Schumacher's decision come in? And why could he be the key for Ricciardo's future? Let's dive in. Before we dive in though, we'd like to ask you a question. Do you think Ricciardo has a future in F1 for the coming years? And where would he drive? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. It is no secret that since joining the McLaren Racing team for the 2021 season, Daniel Ricciardo has mainly disappointed. To make matters worse, he's been entirely overshadowed by Lando Norris, his younger teammate, whom he was expected to lead. However, the Alpine Oscar Piastri McLaren scandal has already had a significant impact on the 33-year-old driver's career. Many in the paddock think the Australian driver no longer has anything to offer, and that, considering his age and pay, his chances of securing a race seat are limited. Nevertheless, Daniel Ricciardo has swiftly disproved these rumours, declaring that despite not having a sure spot for next season, he still loves the sport and is eager to stay in Formula 1. There's certainly a few things the former Red Bull star when asked what he loves about driving for motorsport's leading promotion. Like the competition. It has to be one of the only sports in the world where there's only 20 people that are doing it. The competition is such like a small 0.001% of a group. So to be able to not only be part of that group, but to compete inside that group, that's such a unique thing in itself. And so I love it. I believe I still thrive off it because I still believe I belong in Formula 1 and can do it, he continued. That's what really gets me jacked. Given that his McLaren driver's issue gave him the possibility to take Fernando Alonso's spot at the French racing team next season, the Australian driver's optimism is well founded. In addition, the owner of the Alpine team, Otmar Szafnauer, made it known that he was not completely ruling out the prospect of signing the 8-time race winner. But in an unexpected change of events, it seems like Mick Schumacher, the Haas racing driver, is leading the fight to succeed Fernando Alonso. Sebastian Vettel, the 4-time Formula 1 champion, stated that he would have liked Mick Schumacher, the son of Michael Schumacher, to succeed him when he announced his retirement at the end of the 2022 season. However, things did not go to plan, and Mick's contract extension with the American-based racing team stalled. Mick was eager to leave Haas and join Aston Martin. Unfortunately, Haas team principal Gunther Steiner indicated that contract extension discussions with the German driver were currently off the table, which left the younger Schumacher's F1 career hanging by a thread. Steiner has subsequently made it apparent that he was not confident in Mick's performance. He has spoken to us and we haven't spoken to him. We want to see what's happening. This Aston Martin thing happened very quickly, and so nobody had time to really think about it. But there were rumours he, being Schumacher, could replace Vettel, but that went away pretty quick. We didn't look at what other people were doing, said Steiner. But after lately following Laurent Rossi, who oversees driver recruiting at Alpine and also serves as the team's CEO on Instagram, it appears that the German driver has openly declared his desire to join Alpine. And now, according to his uncle Ralph, an F1 race winner, Mick Schumacher is one of the contenders to succeed Fernando Alonso and take the open seat at Alpine the next year. As of right now, Alpine are no closer to finding Alonso's replacement after receiving a surprising snub from their own backup driver Oscar Piastri, who is apparently planning to join McLaren before the start of the upcoming season. Numerous drivers have been named in connection with Alpine during the ongoing saga, as the French team is urgently seeking to recruit Esteban Ocon, a new teammate. Since Alonso signed a multi-year contract with Aston Martin to replace the departing Sebastian Vettel next season, Ralph has suggested that Schumacher is one of the possibilities competing to follow him. Mick has not yet signed a contract, Ralph told when quizzed on Schumacher's short-term future with Haas. Therefore, he would be a candidate with speed as we've seen. Nico Hülkenberg is also still in the starting blocks. Then there is the question of Daniel Ricciardo. Personally, I can't imagine that he would get another chance in Formula 1, but I don't know who Alpine should take at the moment. Ricciardo is rumoured to be on the team's shortlist for the position, although it is unclear who Alpine would select to drive with Ocon in 2023. The Australian driver was on Alpine's roster in 2019 and 2020, while they were still known as Renault, before leaving at the end of his contract to join McLaren. However, his time with the English team is apparently going to be cut short at the end of the year due to his poor results. As many as 14 candidates may be considered for the open position, according to Alpine team principal Otmar Safnauer, if Oscar Piastri replaces Daniel Ricciardo and McLaren as anticipated. The question is, Alonso is going to Aston Martin. We had a contract with Piastri and we have to understand where it takes us legally, Safnauer told earlier this month. We believe, and that's why we issued the statement, that we have a binding contract. We're going to spend some time looking at where this takes us. If Piastri is not in the car, which I think he will be because Fernando is out, I have 14 phone calls from drivers who are interested, because the Alpine seat is the most valuable seat left. So, as rumours of the younger Schumacher joining Alpine gain traction, Mick has so far been quick to let critics know that he is deserving of a spot in F1, and that most of the headlines do not reflect his ability as a driver. As people have been saying that Mick hasn't performed well enough at Haas to retain a seat in F1. People are kind of focused on building headlines in a way. Yeah, I understand that people need to make money and they need to do some stuff. But on the other hand, also, I would appreciate if people would, maybe take more time to actually build up facts. I don't really reflect on those again or go back to those. I know what I'm able to do. I know what I'm worth. In each championship that I've competed in junior categories, I was able to be the second or first. So I don't see any reason why I shouldn't be able to do that in Formula 1, Mick said. And now, after swooping to recruit Oscar Piastri to join Lando Norris, Ricciardo appears certain to leave McLaren at the conclusion of the 2022 season, as the team attempts to finalise terms to end his contract early. It will put an end to Ricciardo's 2 difficult seasons at McLaren, where he's struggled to match Norris's form despite leading the company to its first victory in nearly 9 years at Monza last year. In order to compete with the larger teams within the budgetary constraints, McLaren has been explicit about its long-term goal of returning to the top of Formula 1. To that end, the company has invested in additional facilities, including an on-site wind tunnel at Woking. Prior to the summer break, before McLaren's intentions to cut relations, Ricciardo explained that while long-term projects take time to develop, things can sometimes change extremely rapidly, citing Perez's recent career turn at Red Bull as an example. I was saying it when I was 27. I'm getting older. In a way, yes, I'm getting older, but I think also I know a bit more about the sport now, and I know that things do take time, Ricciardo said. We all believe we can win, so it's like, well, I want to win tomorrow, but it's not always like that. Even now, talking about 2024 or 25, in a way it's hard to think that far ahead, but I'll come around quickly. You also take little things from if it's a Perez, when his career looked over and now he's potentially fighting for a world championship. The sport can change so quickly. This just shows that Ricciardo isn't done driving in F1 yet and hopes to retain a seat in perhaps a podium-challenging car. But as things are looking right now, it could well be that hotshot Mick Schumacher will take the beloved Alpine seat, which would mean that Ricciardo will have to join a team lower on the grid or call it quits. It will be entertaining to see how this year's silly season will turn out. Where do you think Schumacher and Ricciardo will end up? And do you think Schumacher will be picked over Ricciardo at Alpine? Let us know in the comments below. One thing is sure, and that is that we love seeing you subscribe to our channel and liking the video. And next to that, we can't wait to see what happens next in Formula 1.